Join us as we follow the Colorado River to Moab, Utah. Honestly, this is our first time here, and we fell in love. Moab is one of the most beautiful places on Earth, in our opinion, home to 2 national parks, state parks, endless BLM ground, and one of the coolest towns around a national park that is in Moab, Utah. This is a radically Colorado adventure you are not going to want to miss.
Here we go on the long road trip to Utah.
Oh, I'm asleep.
That's great.
It's always bittersweet to leave Colorado, but I comfort myself knowing that we're kind of not.
So we might be going to Utah, but this is still a radically Colorado trip here. We just hit Dot Cerro, where the Colorado River intersects the Eagle River, and we're going to be following this Colorado River the whole time through all these beautiful canyons that
The first canyon we're going through, because it starts in Rocky Mountain National Park near Grand Lake, is the Glenwood Canyon, and that's where the Colorado River has picked up enough steam to carve out this beautiful canyon in Colorado. And after a short stop in Glenwood Springs, we continue on our journey to Utah. We are officially out of Colorado, and about 30 minutes later, we get off on this exit to head back towards the Colorado River and head towards Moab, which is just a little bit off of Interstate 70, about 30 minutes off of Interstate 70. But once you get into Moab, you immediately start to enter into the Colorado River red sandstone canyons, which are beautiful. The drive into Moab, it's unlike going into any other town because Moab is quite literally surrounded by canyon from the Colorado River. So we're going to stay here in Moab one night and continue our journey to Zion, and then we're seeing Haley's sister get married in Vegas. And then we're going to head back here and stay by the river when we're on our way back to Colorado. So we got a couple different Moab excursions while we were in town here. And honestly, I think I could spend a lifetime here and not even touch on the glory or the adventures that Moab bring. There are thousands and thousands of miles of hiking trails, off-road driving trails, which is like the creme de la creme of Moab. If you want to do some 4x4 off-roading adventure, Moab is like the capital of that. But it didn't start that way. Moab didn't really come into prominence until uranium.
Now we go.
showing me those cheer
This
down.
one?
Yep. That's just the main.
It's such a cute little.
It's the main downtown. Yeah.
This
We're
is so
literally a
cute.
block off.
So the first place that we're staying here in Moab is the Homewood Suites by Hilton. Amazing location, 1 block off the main drag on Main Street. It has balconies, it's dog friendly, and you're like right here, right by it all, which we loved because we weren't staying in Moab super long for this first little bout, and we wanted to be somewhere where we could explore it. And this was one of our favorite spots in Moab. You're gonna see us come back here a couple times. And that's because you had so much variety of food, and it was pretty cheap, to be honest with you. The first night we do Mediterranean, and then we're gonna go back and get some gelato. This place had so much vibrancy, so many different choices to eat from. A lot of these trucks, you could tell, were local entrepreneurs, and I think it's awesome that Moab has the entrepreneurial spirit to support something like this. I'd love to see this in more Colorado towns.
Peach cobbler, gelato.
Would you like it in a cup or in a cone?
We'll do a cup. Or like a scoop.
Yeah, that works.
Just a scoop.
Yeah, that place was the perfect pit stop after a day of driving. And Moab, even if you don't have time to enjoy it like we didn't, we were passing through this time, it was totally worth going to. It definitely gave us the itch to extend our trip and stay here on our way back again, because you can't just come to this town and not want to come back.
Isn't that just the sight to wake up to in the morning there? Here we are, Moab.
Moab.
What do you think of it?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I love Red Rocks as it is.
Yeah.
There's more Red Rocks, but bigger,
Yeah.
more grand,
Then the Colorado ones on the
in
other.
a different way.
Yeah, these are more just like
Because
canyons.
those are, yeah. Either way.
This place is interesting because in Colorado we're used to late 1800s, early 1900s infrastructure, but this place boomed because of uranium, because of the Cold War in the 50s until 1984, when all the manufacturing shut down in this area and they had to reimagine themselves, which isn't too hard to do in this area with a couple national parks right here. Ever since the 80s, they've been trying to clean this place up too. I mean, not like of crime, of uranium. Because right over there by the Colorado River is where they processed all of it. There's a giant mill here in town. Population goes from 1,200 to 5,000 in 1 year. In the 50s, there was more millionaires per capita than anywhere in the United States during that time, because uranium was big, big money. And before that, it was just the Mormons settling here, which was the trajectory and the history of a lot of these Utah towns. Utes were up here, the Puebloans were where we're going, closer to Zion later today. The easy part about this town is every direction. Mountains over there, and then Red Rock Canyons everywhere, and the sun coming up. Yeah, literally surrounded. Personally, I like the tourism economy more than the uranium economy. I did look into it. I guess a lot of people did die of radiation poisoning in the town at that time. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. But they're cleaning it up, so I guess it's not contaminated anymore. Most of those people, in all fairness, they were working in the mill or they were mining, so.
It's a creek.
Yep.
Look, baby, it's a creek.
I guess the other big difference is it came up in the time of the automobile. So all these places very mid-century. Oh, there's a Cactus Jack's. We got a Cactus Jack's in Evergreen. Didn't get the same owner? I don't think so. And then all these mid-century drive-up motels. The Virginian. Wait. Wow. So you know when you go on a road trip and you have those pair of shoes that just smells, but you didn't really realize it until you got in a car for an extended period of time? Well, that happened to us, so we both went over here to Gearhead's giant outdoor store. Great prices, great service, and of course Bodhi loved the sunglasses. And we both got a pair of shoes for like around $200 total, which isn't awful for outdoor hiking shoes. Remember I said we went to Las Vegas and then we drove back to Moab and landed in this canyon. What a stark contrast between God's beauty and, I guess, man attempting to create the beauty that is Vegas. I can't believe we went from Vegas to this in one day. We both did not like Vegas very much, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a video on that one. We'll little clips, you know, but not a full video because we're not Vegas people. We are outdoor. Look at this. You want to know what Moab is? It's this. It's majesty. It's geological forces carving something so insanely beautiful that it makes you question your position within the world. It makes you question your vision of reality. And it makes you want to return to something simpler, more rooted, something that makes your life flow like the Colorado River, that brings beauty like the blue sky against the red rock, that brings simplicity like a tent by the creek, and that forms this sense of awe that causes a metaphysical dilemma within yourself. This place looks awesome. Red Cliffs Lodge in the canyon. Yeah, you should have seen. I didn't get many shots of Vegas because she was so miserable. I've never actually seen her more miserable. And that includes 24 hours of labor.
Sure.
Vegas was worse for her. Like, incredible. Look at Bayla's face. So this place really inspires me, like, not only for the views, but for the story of how it was founded. Originally, like back in the late 1800s, Moab was like the center of ranching and feeding out cattle to get them to the east for the beef markets, the quintessential American cowboy. And that's what this was. After, of course, it was sacred Ute territory. The Mormons came into Moab, forced them out. Classic story of American expansionism. But then later, Hollywood really started to like this place when it was just a ranch. So not Red Cliffs Lodge, but just Red Cliffs Ranch. And if you know anything about the history of Moab, after uranium mining died in 1984, it officially left, but the town was deteriorating in the 80s, and that's when Colin Fryer
comes to the scene in Moab. A young entrepreneur who always wanted to be a farmer. At that time, arches, canyonlands are relatively new national parks, minted in the 60s. Tourism's not really so crazy big in Moab at that time, but Colin comes here and he falls in love. I can see why. I would totally do this too. And buys this ranch, has a vision, and turns it into a resort. He's hands-on too. ChatGPT couldn't tell me he lived on property, but man, if I were him, I certainly would. Cause like, look, that's would be a great place to live right there. So there's this nice, sorry, it's windy here. Nice irrigation canal, creek that goes through. And then it teams up with the Colorado River. It's just out of this world. So Colin comes to this property, he has a vision, and he designs this property really hands-on himself. He's a hands-on guy. He designs the beautiful lodge and just has an architect draw it up. And I think this was his first one. He's got another lodge in Zion, another couple hotels in Moab. So Colin, thanks for all you do. You're like the inspiring entrepreneur that gives me fuel, that makes me want to do something like this. So, and just having a space like this is super inspiring to just walk around it. Everything's so intentional. Walking around this horse field.
Maybe I'm partial, but to me, I don't know if there's anything more beautiful than the Colorado River, than the distant canyon through the haze of the morning sun. If you go on this trip and you don't see beauty anywhere, then you should question everything.
It's so cool. We follow the Colorado River since the Eagle River met up with it in Colorado. And now to see the might of it and have the dogs play in it, it's sensational how something like this could carve this. I was saying with Haley, we were in Vegas, which is like the best man can do, I guess, as far as construction goes, beauty goes. Man-made beauty doesn't hold a candle to this, what God can do, what nature can do. Vegas can't compare. Sorry for people that like that kind of scene, but this is definitely more ours.
Moab is home to 2 national parks. We make it to 1 on this trip. Arches, which doesn't have timed entry like Rocky Mountain National Park. Something that was like a really awesome thing for us, but I've seen on TikTok that it's getting pretty busy. So plan accordingly, get there early, do whatever you got to do, because this place is stunning. Every single way you look,
is like an alien planet in this place. Arches National Park was one of America's later national parks, late to the scene, but came with all the style. It was a national park that wasn't as busy until recently, when Moab has definitely taken off more so. It definitely felt less busy than Zion to me. It feels less busy than Rocky Mountain National Park to me, but granted, we went in March, which is a time that it's not as busy. There were some areas that were really busy, like Delicate Arch. All the popular spots had a lot of people. Here I go and take a look at Delicate Arch from a distance. But if you go on some of these lesser known trails, like we did Skyline Arch Trail here, you can get like no crowd at all. And in my opinion, get just as much beauty. And that's kind of the trick with Moab, is it's not only the national parks. You're surrounded by national forests, BLM ground, there's a whole other national park. But no matter where you go in this area, seemingly it's just beautiful. And this guy is in love with it.
Go do, Bill. Who are we gonna see? Is it the horses? Yeah.
Yeah, before we left Red Cliffs Lodge in Moab and go back to Colorado, we had to try to make friends with some of the locals. And I gotta say, they're pretty friendly. All you gotta do is get some grass here from the side, which we found out from our friends feeding him over there. Give the horse a little bit of grass, and bam, you open right up to the heart. If you enjoyed this Radically Colorado adventure, make sure to like, subscribe, do all the things for more.